Taoiseach, we have read over the last week insurance companies in Ireland have made 159 million profit in 2021. In 2018 it was 130 million, so it's a substantial rise. And it's not that I'm against companies making profit, and in fairness to the government, they have brought in some changes to basically help in the whole insurance debacle around the country. But it's alarming when you get an email that the insurance companies seems to be now picking and choosing and doing their own thing. A young person that was passed for a mortgage, that done the right thing when 20% of people missed the test for a smear test. This person went and had a smear test. There was irregularities found. It was all sorted. They were passed for a mortgage, and now the insurance company tells them, sorry, you can't get health insurance, sorry, you can't get mortgage protection. And this person that wanted to live a life without a social house, they were getting their own mortgage, they were doing their own thing, is now being held back. And I see then an estate in Ballahadreen that's built for 40 years. And this estate never had a problem with water, flooding, anything. We checked with Roscommon County Council, never a problem. They could see nothing in any way that could affect it. We checked with the OPW, 1 in 100 and 1 in 1,000 maps. And lo and behold, the insurance company just decided randomly to get a Dutch company to look at this estate, and probably others around the country when people find out. And some genius within the desktop exercise decided that there may be a risk of flooding down the line. And those people now cannot get insurance. And my question to you is, Taoiseach, I recognise some of the things that has been done by the government over the last number of years in insurance. But what more can we do to try and put manners on some of the things that the insurance companies are doing? Or can you talk to the central bank to make sure that basically what they're doing is, unless everything is 100%, we won't insure you. And that's not what insurance is for. If you crash your car, you draw your insurance. Yeah, might go up a small bit, but you still get insurance. But if a person who does the right thing with their health, that had got a mortgage, is now won't be able to draw down the mortgage, won't be able to buy their house because of the rules in the insurance. And I am asking you as a government, what can you do to help those people, as well as the people where they just pull it out of a hat? There's no way of unproving this, what they're doing at the moment in the line of the flooding, where they say there may be a risk down the line. And what can you do in relation to that?
Thanks. Thanks, Deputy. Just like you do, I understand that insurance companies do have to make a profit. If they don't make a profit, then they can't operate and they can't function, and there won't be any insurance companies or insurance policies, and certainly no competition. But obviously, it should be reasonable profits and not excess profits. And it is very encouraging to see motor insurance come down a lot in recent years. Not happy that house insurance is still going up. We had expected that when price walking ended, that the loyalty penalty would be removed and that prices would fall, but they generally haven't. And despite the huge efforts we've made around employer liability and public liability, premiums are pretty flat, and I want to see them fall. In terms of the reforms that are underway, Minister McEntee is bringing in new legislation around duty of care to rebalance the responsibility when it comes to entering a premises, so that people have a little bit more responsibility not to injure themselves or get injured, and that legislation should be done in the next few months. Minister Cleary is bringing to the legislation on the Personal Injury Resolution Board to allow more cases to be settled at that stage, and to discourage people from going to court in certain circumstances, and we think that will help to bring down premiums. We do have a good engagement with the insurance industry, and I chair the government group on insurance, and we do have a good engagement with the Insurance Industry Ireland. Minister Fleming is engaged in that as well, and also with the Central Bank as regulator. So I think you mentioned one or two specific examples of somebody who I think is a cancer survivor somebody who's an issue with flooding. So probably the best, if they're willing to pass, if they're willing to share that detail with us, with me or Minister Fleming, we can take it up with the regulator and the industry and see what they have to say.
Thanks, Taoiseach, and as somebody like yourself that has come from the health sector, this person, just to be clear, hadn't cancer. There was irregularities found, everything was cleared up, but now, because there was that little bit of doubt, because that person, and it's very hard to hear someone say to you, Michael, I wish I never went for the smear test before I went for the mortgage, because now I'm in trouble for what I've done. And we're encouraging people to make sure that they go for these tests. This person, everything is sorted, but just because there was an irregularity, the person is now not able to get basically home protection, so they can't draw down their mortgage. And I will give you the details. I welcome you saying that, Taoiseach, but there's also the other side, as well as that I'm seeing in housing estates. One example I've brought up to you, where houses are built for 40 years, no government body, or be it the council or the OPW, has ever basically red flagged it for a situation where there could be trouble. But an insurance company overnight has just decided, sorry, we can't insure your houses now for flood. And that's a damnable situation after being 40 years without any problem whatsoever.
Thanks, Deputy. And a regular smear test should not be grounds for refusing insurance. Insurers do have to price in risk, and of course, if somebody is very ill or if somebody is terminally ill, they do have to take that into account. But and a regular smear test does not fit into that category. Certainly doesn't in my mind. So would be genuinely interested, with the permission of that person, if you can pass on the information, and we'll take it up with the industry and see what we can do.